Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel, I share with you everything personal finance as well as lifestyle content in the form of vlogs. Today's video is on the personal finance side of things because I'll be sharing with you how much I spent in the month of August 2025. And some of you might already know that I went on a 2.5 week vacation with my besties. I went to South Korea and Japan and a little bit of Hong Kong, and obviously that cost us a pretty penny. I will include how much I spent in August because it differs from how much I spent in September, and I'll cover that in the September recap video. But it was a lot, yo. It was a lot of money that we spent. Four of us, 2.5 weeks. Crazy business. But yeah, so today's video, we'll be looking over where my money went in the month of August 2025 and how I am managing my money thus far in the month of September, because you guys know that I now budget from the middle of the month to the next middle of the month. So from August 15th through to September 14th, that covers that period for my paycheck. And now I will be getting paid tomorrow. I'm filming this on Sunday, the 14th, and I'll be making this video live today. Hopefully I'm able to edit it and make it live, but I'm sure I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow we start a whole new budget, which will be covering September into October. So we'll touch into October just a little bit, but not too much, because I'll try and put as much information as I can in my October monthly reset. So without further ado, let us begin. Okay, so I do have my trusted laptop here because I will be looking over on the side as I walk you guys through where my money went in the month of August. But before we get to talking about where my money went specifically, we're going to quickly look over some of the financial goals. I always share with you guys goals for every single month, and I mostly cover them in the monthly reset videos, but the financial ones I try and cover them with the budget videos when I remember. So that's what we're going to try and do. I'm just going to quickly look over and see what financially outside of my travel I needed to pay attention to for my budget. So first thing was to get my car serviced. That's a financial goal, and I did get my car serviced. It didn't cost as much as I thought it would, which is great. I also said to take my car for MOT. I did do that as well, and again, this was less than what I thought, which again is great. I used for both the service and the MOT. I did use my sinking fund to be able to pay for both of these. And then the financial goal was booking a ferry for me and the girls for our girls trip. So we went to South Korea, hired a car, drove down from Incheon, did all the smaller villages in between, went all the way down to Busan. In Busan, we spent a couple of days. Then we took a ferry from Busan into Fukuoka, Japan. So I paid for that, and then the girls reimbursed me. So booking for that, that's a financial thing. Traveling to Asia, like I said, half of it was done in September, in August, and half of it in September. So we'll only cover the August bit in today's video. What else? I say that, oh, some of these goals, I'm just gonna look for financial goals, and everything here is a financial goal, it seems, because I have to spend money. Attend Reformer Pilates. It's a financial goal because I have to pay £23 every single month for my Pilates class, and I have to book for September as well. Celebrate my sister and my friend's birthday. That's a financial one as well because I did buy a present for my friend. And then get my hair done. That pre-holiday hair had to be done. So that's a financial one. So practically all of the goals I've just mentioned to you guys were all financially related. And it was an expensive month though. It was an expensive month, but I must say that I'm grateful that I have sinking funds and I have also had a travel fund. I will not lie. My travel fund was not enough to cover both August and September. and we'll talk about the September portion in the September video, but it really was not enough. I had about $850 spending money. It was not enough, yo. I literally had to sit down a couple of days ago and write down like what we spent. All of this side is what we spent in August, and what I did was all of this is just the expenses that were on my credit card, and also the cash that I withdrew, and then at the back is also all expenses that were on my credit card, but they were for September. So all of this is August, all of this is September. But yeah, so I had to do all of the numbers so I knew how much I need to put in the tracker for the month of August. So let us now go through the budget, and we'll spend a bigger portion talking about my variable expenses, specifically my travel. So first, we're going to start off with my normal bills. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move to the side a little bit. Actually, because my laptop is this side, maybe I should move this side. Yeah, I'm going to move a little bit this side and move you guys a little bit. Oh, I've got my hot water bottle. I'm trying to see which way moves better, but I'm gonna try and put it here. So for my bills, everything came out as I had planned, except my mortgage. I thought it was going to be around 1,850, but it turned out to be 1,680, so I just paid a little bit extra for that, but otherwise everything else was I had planned. And like I said, for car insurance and maintenance, so for the car service and MOT, I had budgeted £500, and I'm glad that I was only able to spend over £200. So that is really, really great. Everything else was fine. So I budgeted 3,000 in terms of my bills, and that came to just over 2,500, which is not bad at all. Then if I go to my investments, I had projected that I'll be able to invest at least 650. I'm glad to say that I was able to invest over £800, which is absolutely great. So that is into this is all just after tax. So pre-tax things I don't include in the tracker. This is all just after tax, and I'm very happy. So my ISA, my SIP, my LISA, two general investment accounts, and my second ISA that I opened last month or July, I can't remember, one of these months I opened that. So that was good. If I move quickly to the debt, I only have one debt now. So that was my Zopa personal loan. I projected 700, but I only sent 650. And I mentioned this in a couple of videos. I did say that because I was traveling middle to end of August, I did not know how much extra money I could send to this debt, because I knew we were going to be traveling. I'll be spending a lot of money, and honestly, I didn't want to be short on money as I was traveling. So I decided I'll just do my standard minimum, which is 650. So I did that. I'm still happy with the progress that I made. That's okay. But now we're last 4 months of the year. I do want to pull my socks up and do the best that I can with this debt. Yeah, and then if we go to my savings and my sinking funds, so I pulled from my sinking funds quite a bit, and also my vacation fund. So my vacation fund had 850 in total. I took out £500 for my trip in the month of August, and then the rest went to September, which in the end didn't turn out to be enough, but that's okay. And then for my sinking fund, I put out 500 as well, but I'd also put in, I think it was like £9. So it's saying that I actually only took out 491, but initially when I took out, I just took out £500 and I used it for what I needed to use it. My 1p Monzo Savings Challenge is doing great. So as of today, filming of this video, I'm over £300, which I'm so happy. It is due to end on the 14th of January 2026, so I would have done the whole year by then, and I'm very excited about that. I still don't know what I'm going to use that money for, but most likely travel. And then I did send a little bit of money to my 40th birthday fund, which is great. So I projected that I would be able to save 250, and I think I did do 250. let me actually quickly add it up because it doesn't show that I actually sent 250. Here it says I took out almost 750, which is I took out £1,000, but then yeah. So let me just do 156.75 that I sent to my emergency fund plus 66.54 that I sent to my 1P challenge plus £24 that I sent to my birthday. Oh, okay. It wasn't exactly 250, it was 247 and 29 pence. So I was £2.71 short. How crazy is that? But almost to what I had budgeted. But like I said, I already knew that I was going to be taking money out from my savings for the car and also for my travel. So that is okay. I expected that. And yeah, and I love this tracker that I can just put I can track what I'm taking out of my savings so that it remains up to date. I really, really do love this tracker. If you didn't know, just a reminder, I'm using the Ultimate Wealth Dashboard 2.0 tracker from Press Reset. I love it. I used it for throughout 2024 and I'm using it throughout 2025. But 2026, I'm going to switch things up and I'll be using somebody else's tracker, which I love. I do have my own trackers that I sell on Etsy. The link is always in the description bar below. I use those as well in conjunction with these other trackers. I just love having these Google Sheets version, which I can have with me on the go. And then my personal ones are all Excel. And so I'm almost glued to this, even though I can also have Excel on the go, just save it to the cloud. But for my trackers, I actually like keeping them on my laptop. I know that's weird, but that's how I prefer it. So anyway, that's what we're sticking with. Anyway, I have digressed big time, but let's get back. So variable expenses is where we're going to spend the majority of this video. So I had projected that I was going to spend 1,750 on my variable expenses. Now, as you can see on the screenshot, I projected 0 for travel purely because I knew that I'll be pulling from my savings. So I just put that as 0 and then, did the spending as I had envisioned I was going to do. So if we start off first with my wellness, health and wellness, so that is my wellness coach, my therapy, my swimming lessons, my Pilates, yoga, and anything in between. I always budget between 400 to 500 pounds. For the month of August, I budgeted 400 pounds and I spent 359 and 75 pence. Travel, like I said, I budgeted 0 and I'll skip this one for now and I'll come back to it in a moment. But groceries, I projected 150 because I knew the majority of the month I wasn't going to be home and I was going to focus on eating the cooked meals that I had in my freezer instead. So I actually spent only 97 pounds and 48 pence on my groceries, which is absolutely great. Subscriptions, I budgeted 200. I often budget between 200 to 300 pounds depending on whether I have subscriptions due that month or not. I've got the monthly ones and then I've got the quarterly ones and I've got the annual ones. So if I know that the quarterly one or the annual one is coming up, I bump this up, but majority of the time it's between 200 to 300 pounds. So I projected 200 and I spent 161.25. Then tithe and giving, I'm a Christian, I believe in giving, so I always set some money aside in my budget. I don't often know how much I'm going to give, but I just say okay, 150. And for the month of August I was able to give a little bit more, which was 563 and 63 pence, which I'm happy about. Fuel, surprisingly, I actually did not fuel up at all, which I'm happy about. But then again, it's not surprising at all purely because the places that I go to outside of the airport and my parents are all within 5-10 mile radius. So I don't really use my fuel that much. So the fuel from July is still holding me over and we're currently halfway through September. And I don't envision doing any long trips in the month of September. So I might actually be fine with the fuel that I have now. I think I just came back from London. I think I have 168 miles left in the car. So yeah. And then transportation here, excuse my French, the shit hit the fan. I projected 125. This is because I've been going to London a lot, and every trip into London costs me. So the train ticket, because I've got the Network Rail card, is about £25. Parking at the train station, depending if I manage to park right in front of the station, that's often like £4. But if I miss that and I have to park at the big parking, that's £7. And then London Underground is always maximum £6 for me, based on where I go. I often just go around central London. So yeah, but in the month of August, we did a lot of traveling into London. I felt like I was living in London again. So I projected 125 and I spent 251 and 75 pence, which is crazy, but understandable. Restaurants and takeout, I budgeted 150. I'm glad to say I only spent under 120 pounds. Self-care, this is like my nails, my hair, and all of that. I budgeted 300 because I knew I was going to be getting my hair done. But what I did not project was getting my nails done, both my toes and my nails, done at a different salon to where I normally do. If I'd gone to my own salon, I probably would have spent between 60 to 70 pounds. No, I have a discount code. So it would have been 65 pounds, but I went to a different one and I ended up paying 80 pounds. So that tipped me off and I was just like, ugh. But I also had other things that I need to pay for. So 357 and 86 pence is what I ended up spending. Coffee and social, I budget £75. I'm glad to say I spent £70. So still a little bit of money left. I still had one coffee left in me, which I'm happy about. And speaking of coffee, I need to take a sip. Shopping, I had budgeted zero because I wasn't anticipating to buy anything before I traveled, because I was telling myself, girl, you got clothes. And well, yes, I did, but I didn't have track bottoms at all. I don't have any track bottoms. Well, now I do. And I wanted track bottoms to travel with on the plane. And I saw this beautiful track bottoms that are, they're brown, I want to say. Yeah, they're just a beautiful chocolate brown. I love them. And I found a top that was like a similar shade to it. I'm like, perfect, chef's kiss, like this will be perfect. So I bought those two together, and then I ended up picking a couple of bits from H&M, and yeah, so we ended up spending 87 pounds and 23 pence on the bits, but not just for the holiday, because earlier I'd also bought something else. So yeah, I didn't budget for this at all. It wasn't in my plans, but hell ho, there we are. Household, I budgeted 25. I only spent £5. Miscellaneous, I budgeted 50, and there was only like literally a pound. If I wanted to, I could have scrapped this, but I track every single cent in my tracker. So here we are. Adventure, I budgeted 50. I didn't spend anything, nothing for dental, nothing for property expenses or for my business expenses, nothing whatsoever. So that was all honky dory. So if we look at shopping, I overspent. Self-care, I overspent. Transportation, I overspent. Tithe and giving, overspent, but that's always a good thing because it's showing that I'm giving more than what I thought I was going to be able to that month. So that's great. Now, if we go to travel, like I said, travel in August, I was in South Korea with my friends. So we flew with Cathay Airways. And that was a long flight. We did have a 2-hour layover in Hong Kong, and then went on to Incheon. It felt like we spent like all of, because we flew Friday night. Was it? Yeah, Friday 7 p.m. was our flight. We did not get into Incheon until Saturday 8 p.m. So we literally just spent the entire time flying, which was crazy. We had a car. We stayed in Airbnbs the majority of the time, which we loved, except Busan where we stayed in a hotel. But majority of the time we just stayed in Airbnbs. We did the traditional Korean outfits. We wore the hanbok and it was chef's kiss. We did a lot of activities, but if I'm honest, spending time with my girls is always like the best therapy ever. Although they did test my gangster some days, and I was speaking to my therapist about this, and I was like, I was biting my tongue a lot, not because I couldn't say what I wanted to say. I was just afraid that once I'd calmed down, what I wanted to say in that moment would have probably like ruined friendships. It could have changed nations. That's all I know. So I kept my, like I decided, you know what, in this moment, I am upset or I'm feeling some type of way. I'm gonna wait until I calm down and then check if I still need to respond or not. And in most instances, I didn't need to because whatever it was had passed and it wasn't something that was lingering or we need to speak about. And I didn't feel like anything in my chest. So I was like, I guess it wasn't that important, but in the moment when you're upset, it might just feel like, oh, I have to say something. And I remember saying to my therapist that I was telling myself, you don't have to respond. You don't have to react. And me and my therapist were talking about this. And I was like, I was applying the rules of let them theory. It literally changed my world. I was just like, do you know what? You don't have to respond. Let them. This is what they want to do. Let them. This is what you want to do, let me. Literally, like that's what I was doing, and I was so proud of myself. And I was telling her this, and she was like, "For you, this is a big win." I'm like, "I know, right?" So, but yeah. Anyway, coming back to the money, we did spend an arm and a leg. My portion of it, of personal spending, of combined spending. So this includes combined spending. When I what I mean by combined spending is, for example, like I bought the ferry tickets, right? So if I have not been reimbursed for that yet, I haven't subtracted that from this balance. I've just left it as is because that's exactly what my statement currently shows. Until I'm reimbursed, it will remain like that. But because the month is already over, I'll just put the money that I receive from my friends as income in September or in October or whenever I receive the money. That's how I would treat it. So for now, this includes combined spending as well as my solo spending as well, which was 741 and 49 pence. My overall pot was 850. So I know that I took out only £500 from my savings pot because I did also have some money from my blog that I was able to use for this trip, which really helped big time, like super, super big time. But like I said, this money of 850 really was not enough for the whole trip because of this combined spending. If it was just me, I think it would have been fine, but because of combined spending, it wasn't. But yeah, in the month of August, I spent about 740, over 740 on travel. So this is why my total spend for variable expenses ended up being 2,817 and 53 pence, which is over £1,000 over what I had originally budgeted. But like I said, for travel, I kept it blank for a reason. I didn't want to budget anything whatsoever. So yeah. So I think that is all when it comes to the August budget. Like I had fun. It was a great month because the majority of it I was traveling and it really was a great month, y'all. I can't complain at all. In terms of income, I had budgeted that I would bring in at least 6,350 and I brought in over £7,000, which is great. And this does not include the savings that I put in from, my sinking fund as well as my vacation fund, which is awesome. So that is August. Now I'm going to quickly go over to the month of September. Um, okay, I have switched to my iPhone 16 Pro Max, so I hope the quality remains good and audio is not interrupted because I'm not even sure like where I should be looking, but I'm gonna be looking here. Anyway, my laptop is still here and that's where I'll be staring the majority of the time. So for the month of September, we're doing pretty well. Like I said, we're halfway through the month of, well, it's the 14th today. We're practically halfway through the month of September. And outside of my mortgage, all of my other bills have gone through. And I am just about to sit down and read through the paperwork for my car insurance, which I am renewing this month. It's due on the 28th. And my insurance company have reduced my bill by £60 because I've been with them for 4 years. I do shop around, and the majority of the time, I've found that my current insurance is better and price wise, they are definitely better. I don't know otherwise, but I have had other car insurances before, but this one I'm sticking with. And them reducing how much I should pay because I pay annually actually makes me really happy. So my mortgage, my car insurance, and my second mobile are the bills that I have left for the month of September. Everything else will be the expenses and the investments as well as debt left to pay. So tomorrow, Monday the 15th of September, my investments will be coming through on the 16th, my debt will be coming through, and my mortgage as well. So I'm just going to be monitoring my spending the best way that I know how. I'm literally like on the floor in my living room because I've got stuff all over the floor as I'm going through all of my numbers and all of that good jazz. But yeah, so right now we seem to be doing okay in the month of September. And my blog has made some money. So that means, I've got a little bit more additional income to play around with. And I'm going to actually send a little bit of that towards my debt because, like I said, just earlier, I do need to pick up in terms of repayment for this debt. I want to be out of debt as quickly as possible. Consumer debt. This is the only consumer debt that I currently have, and I want to be out of it as quickly as I possibly can be. So yeah, so we're gonna try and do that and just pay this loan off as fast as I can. But yeah, so September is looking pretty good. I did pay my water bill, which is biannual. I pay it September and March. Yeah. And then this week starting is my mom's birthday, so need to do something for her. And my friend and I have got, we've rescheduled for next weekend, which means I get to sleep in. You guys, today is exactly a week since I came back from my vacation. This is only the second video that I'm filming. I have not filmed for a whole 3 to 4 weeks. So I am struggling. It's gonna take me a minute to edit this, but I'm struggling with the filming. I've been fighting jet lag and TMI, and Mother Nature decided to call earlier. And I think this is related to my traveling. The stress of it all has just brought it on earlier, which is annoying, but it's okay. We move. And it's just like a lot of things going on at work as well. And I'm just trying to catch up on my own life. So I think once I've caught up with my emails at work, I am going to do a personal day and just do admin or nothing. Like that's my plan right now. But yeah, I'm very excited for the rest of September. And then also, I'm planning to actually go on. Firstly, I'm going to do 2 trips. I want to do one abroad by myself and then one trip within the UK with the girls. I already told them that I'll pay for the accommodation. I'm trying to find somewhere where we can all go and just plan out 2026 because I want us to be serious about our goals and grow together. So that's what I'm going to be looking at this new week, not today. Today is not the day. But yeah, this is the video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video real soon.